Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Thanks for watching today on YouTube TV. Thanks for listening on SiriusXM channel 158. Any of our great affiliates across the country, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio as well. In this hour, we will get to I Don't Want to Overreact, but in 15 minutes, Adam Hill on the program covers the Raiders out here locally for the Las Vegas Review Journal. We'll ask him about it from a betting perspective coming up in 30 minutes. In that game right now, the Chargers are laying 3.5 still, total 46.5, maybe a 47 or 2 out there as well. And in the early game, this is, I think, a huge game for the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
With a divisional foe on deck as they play at Jacksonville in week 3. And they're laying 2.5 pretty much everywhere, total down to 42.5. We had Warren Sharp on in the previous hour. I like that he said this. It does your listeners and viewers like no good now, but he bet under 44.5. He said if there was a bet to be made right now, in his opinion, it would be under 21.5 in the first half. But he said he did not bet that one.
All right. We're on the pregame coming up at 7 Eastern as well, so stick around. But I got a lot on the first one. As you're right, this is a huge game for Houston because he'd be 2 games behind Indy already, and then that trip to Jacksonville on the road. Got to see if they can protect. And the O-line, I still like the under here, even though it's moved. There were 46s out there. But you just see how bad the O-line was last week and the big concern that it's been. I wouldn't put you off both quarterbacks rushing yards over. You know, we've been talking about Baker for much of the show. Stroud had 35 yards rushing last week. I don't think Nick Chubb will get anything going on the ground. He's gone up 3.5 yards at DK since we've been on the air.
Wait, what is he right now?
I don't know what they're watching, 53.5. You can't run on Tampa. And then it's even more impressive what Atlanta did to Minnesota, considering they couldn't run against Tampa Bay. So Chubb under rushing. There's a big, they said it's imperative that they get Nico involved early, and he wasn't a factor in the game against the Rams. So I think Nico can eat tonight. I don't mind Dalton Schultz props as well. And then the Tampa standpoint, I think I like Egbuka to come back with him, and then the rapport that he has with Shepard. So if you're going to take away Evans and make these young guys beat you or make someone else beat you, I think you can get Shepard can't have 20 yards tonight. That's another one I think to look at with a bunch of props. And you know we're on fair bearing over. 1.5 made field goals. Well, he's $1.04. Yep.
Shop around. I'm seeing as high as $1.60 on that now.
Okay.
With him. That's moved at least 30 cents.
Okay. And I like both teams to make a 33-yard field goal, which is $1.20. And Fairbairn is on a 12-2 overrun.
Right.
With the 1.5.
Okay. So you're right about Nick Chubb, but I'm looking at multiple sports books right now. I'm seeing as low as 49.5. And Pauly, there are multiple 54.5s out there right now. I have under 51.5, under 52.5 in pocket right now. I'm going to have to bet it again.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why. Great point by you. Bajan last night, 143 against the Vikings defense. Pretty good unit.
Look great. Out here too, yeah.
24 yards against this Buccaneers. The steel curtain from back in the 70s, what we're looking at here. And I say that because they've been so good now for many years against the run. I'll break it down. Last year, going back, in the playoff loss to Washington, the Commanders were so good at running the football with Jane Daniels, other guys as well. He had 13 for 36. Eckler had 8 for 27. Brian Robinson had 10 for 16 in that game. Week 18 against the Saints, close game. CEH had 8 for 26. Jamal Williams, 8 for 15. The previous week, Raheem Blackshear for the Panthers, 8 for 20. In a 2-point loss at Dallas, the Cowboys scored 26 points. Rico Dowdell had 13 for 23. Week 15 in L.A. against a good Chargers team, Gus Edwards led the team with 8 for 23. I could keep going on and on and on. McCaffrey in Week 10 had 13 for 39. Is he good? I went all the way back to like Week 9. 2 guys had decent games. Sincere McCormick randomly had a 15 for 78 game, and Kareem Hunt killed them, 27 for 106 in an overtime win. I can't get there. I'm going the opposite way. And maybe this number keeps going up. Maybe you'll see like a 55.5 or higher, but I disagree with the market moving on him going, I'm under him in this game.
And this game starts in less than an hour. It's 4 o'clock kick Pacific. The other thing is, you are playing with house money here if Tampa can get this. To start 2-0 on the road, they didn't even play well last week.
Agreed.
And they stole that game. So if Romo was the kicker, it'd probably be a different story too. But how impressive Egbuka, the rookie, was to get the game 2 touchdowns in that game. And now you're looking at the Jets after this at home. So Tampa's looking at a 3-0 start if they can steal this one too.
That's a huge spot for them. And they're looking also at Tyrod Taylor next week, potentially. I think he's probably going to play.
Yeah.
I don't hate Tyrod Taylor. I think it'd be okay. But, I'm not going to love their chances to go down there, by the way, with a very, once again, overrated defense that this Buccaneers offense should probably be able to carve up next week. Not only that, but what's the angle here with the wide receivers now for the Buccaneers? As long as, like, the two-headed monster is going to be Mike Evans and rookie Emeka Egbuka.
I think they take away Evans and make Egbuka and Shepard do something. And I think they will at least get enough to go. It's a different number with Egbuka, but also Shepard. Shepard is, it's too high, but he's plus money to get 25, and his prop is 22.5 at DraftKings, as always with these.
So that
prop shop them. So
I think 2 yards now during the show as well.
But I think Egbuka can have 55, and Shepard can have more than. Shepard might get that in one catch. What he could do.
It looks like Evans is trending. Well, at DraftKings right now, we just moved to on the screen here 62.5. On my screen on the laptop here, it says 63.5 for Mike Evans. Other books are as high as 68.5 on him.
Yeah, and then also, these guys. Anytime you can get bulletin board material. They have talked about this, and I know Ryan's loved it. He brought it up. 2 years ago, Stroud embarrassed him. Almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What he did in that game. So, Tampa wants some payback here. And will he have time to throw? That's the big question. I question, you were so good last year in terms of almost beating Kansas City and winning a playoff game. Why are you trotting out this offensive line? When you have a nasty defense.
They're doing him no help whatsoever.
No, I don't get it. But so there's a lot of props there, a lot of stuff, and if we to repeat it again, great breakdown from Pete in Iowa. Baker's on a great run. 9 in a row? Over 9.5 yards?
On the road.
Rush? Oh, longest
9
in
a row. And overall, it's 15 out of the last 19 games he has gone over 9.5 yards.
Right, yep. So longest rush over. I like him over for the game, rushing. And TMI Ozzie has him anytime touchdown at a big price, too.
Right. Yeah, again, that's 9.5 for the longest rush of the game.
Yes.
That's exactly right. His rushing yards total for the game, like 16.5 or 17.5 out there as well.
Yep. The late game, right back with the kickers. Again, love Dicker. Shop this with the juice, $1.50, $1.60, but it's the same thing here again. And the kicking props went 4-1. Dicker over 1.5 made. Both teams 33-yard field goal. But I can't go longest field goal, Dicker, because Carlson can bang it as well.
Yep, agreed.
And then tell everyone, repeat your Herbert story from what you heard before the season.
Well,
because he looked great and what he did and how many times he took off against the Chiefs.
Well, it's not really. It's just people who I follow and I listen to getting ready for the season who are like big time into fantasy. And they were basically yelling from the mountaintops, this guy can be Josh Allen if he wants to be. I went back and looked at his game log this morning, in fact, his entire career. Paul, he's had multiple games where he'll rush for like 50 yards. But he'll have other games where he won't even like attempt to run the ball. So they were basically comparing his size to Josh Allen, saying that he's the same guy, he's the same specimen out there. He can get going just as fast, but he doesn't scramble and doesn't take off like Allen does. Mm-hmm. And they're saying basically if he wants to and turns into that guy, he can be like quarterback one, and he can also like be the MVP of the league, which I would actually agree with. I think this guy's good enough to win the MVP. So he's got a cannon for an arm. He made it look like a thing of beauty, by the way. And I think Johnson's good, by the way.
Yes, when he catches the ball, yes,
and I think the
great.
drops are kind of behind him as well.
They got weapons.
They
with
do.
Him and Allen and Disley and Conklin, and I'm missing somebody.
McConkey? Yeah.
Yes.
Is that who you missed? Okay.
Yeah.
So he had 7 for 32 yards against the Chiefs. 19 was his longest. I went back and looked again. He did not have a single carry in the blowout loss to the playoffs against Houston. But in his last 3 regular season games, he had 8 for 28, 3 for 12, which did not get it done tonight, and 4 for 42, by the way, which was against the Raiders last year.
Well, so longest rush is 9.5 also. And for the game is 16.5.
Yeah, 16.5
Love
seems
that.
so doable for him.
Yes, love him taking off tonight against the Raiders.
And let me point this out.
We are getting, real quick though, we are getting carried away with the no interception. It's like $1.65 now.
Oh, is it?
He threw 3 all of last year and then was clean against the Chiefs.
Brock Bowers' receiving yards prop has dropped a full 10 yards today.
No. Oh, Carol's lying.
It was 61.5 earlier. It is now 51.5 at several books, maybe a 52.5 out there. All things, it was looking rosy for him, I think, on, Saturday afternoon?
Carol said he looked good.
Well, we have a guest on coming up in 20 minutes, Adam Hill. We'll have, I think, dynamite info from him at that time.
You want anything with Hampton? Now, before you answer that, Harris is supposed to get more work. He had one carry.
I heard that. I know.
He got 1 carry.
And his yards prop tonight is super low. It's in the teens, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't do Hampton because I need him to have a nice game to win my fantasy league, so I'm not going to get into. I could bet under as like a hedge, but that'd be stupid in week 2.
Football meets flavor with VEASAN and Omaha Steaks, the official sponsor of tailgating, built for the grill. Omaha Steaks smash burgers, pre-smashed, crafted from premium aged beef. Go from freezer to bun in 5 minutes with juicy, unforgettable flavor. And as a VEASAN exclusive, you get 16 free smash burgers with any order of $129 or more. 50% off site-wide, omahasteaks.com/VEASAN. Everything is so good. The burgers are awesome. omahasteaks.com/VEASAN. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
All right, I'm going to double down from a comment that we made last week. 60-1 is still out there. I can't believe it. I don't want to overreact, but is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, it's time for I Don't Want to Overreact, but, and you might hear this at other places, but we are the originators of this segment. I'll start with the Bengals. We disagree on this. I don't want to overreact, but I think the Bengals are a good play at plus 185 to make the playoffs. Should be 0-2, but you don't apologize for a win, 2-0, and now they take on the Vikings and Carson Wentz on Sunday. They went 9-8 2 years ago when Burrow was hurt. Browning was excellent except for one start in Pittsburgh, and there's some tough games after that, but still, Jets, Bears, Patriots, Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. Couple that with the fact that Kansas City's off to a slow start. Denver lost again. Are we only getting one team out of the AFC South? I think 9-8 will get it done. And I'm not there with the Patriots either. I think that can happen.
Okay.
I don't want to overreact, but I think the Falcons will be a factor in January. Great job defensively. Great job drafting. Good job by Morris. This is his area of expertise. They were so bad last year, and I love that they want to become ground and pound, which they were ticked off at their performance week 1. They blew that game.
Yeah, they did.
They got the kicking fixed. Romo was perfect. They also, if they can run the ball like that and Penix can sling it, a lot of winnable games coming up. And I love it. They can, if the defense is real, they can win 10, 11 games, and I don't think he's that good of a coach. But I can see it already. If they're going to play defense like that and do a complete 180 and turn you over and win 10, 11 games, that could be your coach of the year. Jets, Bears, Dolphins. Just end the season. At least with Miami, there was a lot of negativity from pro bettors, which I understand. But at least you're thinking in Miami, we should be able to score points. We almost made the playoffs last year and Tua was hurt. There was some hype and some expectation. It gone, out the window.
Gone, yep.
Right. And the Jets, 0-2, both losses at home. Embarrassed. Couldn't move the ball against Buffalo. Miami blows the game against New England. They fall to 0-2, and they have to go to Buffalo now, soon to be 0-3. And the Bears. 8.8 yards per play allowed. Most since 1961. They allowed 5 30-yard plays and 7 20-yard-plus plays. And now Johnson's out indefinitely. I see another 5-win season. That's it.
All right. I don't want to overreact, but the Pittsburgh Steelers stink. Think about this. They allowed almost 400 yards yesterday. Their third-round pick. Lots of hype. Caleb Johnson. What a whiff so far. 1 carry against the Jets. And how does he misplay that kickoff yesterday? I was blown away by that. You said that's happened 12 times?
That's what the tweet was from
Staggering.
NFL. Yeah, I can't believe that. I think the last 2 times it happened has been Pittsburgh. They did it in the Candlestick. With a guy, It was a long, long time ago. I remember watching the game on NBC.
But here's why I don't think this is an overreaction. The Jets went up and down the field against this team. The Jets did. Everybody was popping in that game.
Yeah.
Fields, and it was Hall, and Garrett Wilson looked like WR1 written all over him again, right? 30-plus points. This is going to be fun for the Jets. What happened yesterday at home against a banged-up defense, including the best defender for the Bills on the line, who was out of the game? The Jets couldn't move the ball the entire game, 154 yards, and a lot of that was misleading. My God, Pittsburgh, horrible start. I'm going to double down from last week. I know the AFC appears to be much weaker today than it did 2 weeks ago. I think the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. I don't even know if they win Sunday night against the Giants. Think about who they still have left on the schedule. Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Bills. I don't know. Are they going to win at Dallas on Thanksgiving Day? I tell you this, I'm not saving them for Survivor for that day. No way, no how would I use them on Survivor. And that was my plan anyway. The Texans, tough divisional games, right? They've only played 1 so far in the division. What if the Raiders are good? The Broncos will give them a test, no doubt. Chargers already beat them. So I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit now on them to miss the playoffs. And then if they beat the Giants on Sunday night, the number will go up, and I'll bet it again.
You wanted something crazy? Mahomes is on pace for 1,000 yards rushing.
He had, 66 again yesterday?
Yes.
He led the team. He was only like 20 behind Barkley.
I know.
He has no weapons, Paul.
No.
It's a major problem.
No.
I don't want to overreact, but Cam Ward, there's a lot to like here. He's not supposed to. We've heard that our entire lives. You're not supposed to make that pass. A quarterback who is going all the way to his right and then throws it all the way back to his left. And oh, by the way, against a good defense, and he put it right where the ball should be. That was the most impressive touchdown of the day probably yesterday. So I think even though they're 0-2 in another loss, that kid looks to be the real deal. I don't want to overreact, but you can never, and you talked about this in the good, the bad, and the ugly, you can never play for the game-winning field goal in college football. What are we doing here? This is not the NFL where you can trust a lot of these guys now, and they have the kicker ball. This is college football. Year after year after year, we see this. And John Murray from the Westgate popularized this. He actually created this term many, many years ago. Kicking is for losers. He's spot on with that. That was a beautiful clock-eating drive to go down and win the game. And then, we're going to settle for, and then, we got a false start. And then, it's a 43-yarder.
Yeah.
An A-plus drive that resulted in an F. Come on. Be better than that. I don't want to overreact, but Jim Bob Cooter is the OC for the Colts.
Yes.
They have not punted. The first team ever not to punt in a single time in the first 2 weeks. This morning, he was still 60-1 to win Assistant Coach of the Year. Are we buying in here?
Yes.
Long term?
Yes.
Full season? The resurrection of Danny Dimes?
It's 50-1 right now at DraftKings.
Now,
your guy in Green Bay's rightfully so the favorite.
Oh, he probably should be.
But yeah.
And I'll give you another guy to watch for tonight. What is Greg Roman at DK? Because he pitched a borderline perfect game. He was 27-1 at FanDuel earlier today.
Okay.
I don't mind any of those guys. But how is this guy 60-1 right now? And they get the Titans in week 3. Haven't punted with Danny Dimes as their quarterback, and Jonathan Taylor looks like maybe the best running back in football so far?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to overreact. Now, hear me out on this. If Brock Purdy is hurt, might not be, but if he's hurt for a while, the 49ers will be fine on offense with Mac Jones at quarterback.
Oh.
They'll be fine on offense. I don't know if the defense is good enough
Yeah, they'll be all right.
to limit teams to, 17 and then go up. You know what I'm saying? But with Shanahan and this guy, despite, no Kittle, And no Ayuk yet. Jennings was back. 3 touchdowns yesterday.
That's true. These guys are coming back. And with Shanahan, you trust Shanahan. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit on the opposite side of the fence, but you're kind of winning me over here on the Bengals.
Come on, I'll break down the schedule when you're done. Yep.
Okay, I got it in front of me as well. This defense stinks. 400 yards to Trevor Lawrence, and they should have lost the game again yesterday.
So does Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and so do a lot of teams in the AFC, and that's where you're winning me over.
Yeah, and you beat the Vikings, you're 3-0. And then you go Pittsburgh, Jets, Bears, Pittsburgh, Patriots.
Can I give you the tough ones?
And the Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. I just got to get to 9.
They're at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh still twice. At Baltimore. At Buffalo. Baltimore again. But the good thing is here, they have those 2 wins banked already.
Right. And I think they win Sunday.
All right, there you have it.
The VSiN Average Joe contest from Edge Boost, all about the weekly prizes. Each week you make 7 picks, NFL or college. Highest score that week, cash is $500. Already have an Edge Boost account. It doubles to $1,000. And while you're chasing weekly wins, you'll also be in the mix for big quarterly prizes like airfare and hotel at Circa, plus an in-studio spot on a VSiN show. Free to play, enter anytime. VSiN.com/Joe. The other argument is, what if Burrow's back by then? Like if he's back, if Browning holds it down and then Joe comes back, you close Miami, Arizona at home, and Cleveland at home.
Mm-hmm. What if Browning's playing really good football, though? Do you just tell Joe, wait until next year? Because you don't want to force it back. But he's super injury prone here is why I'm bringing that up.
Yeah, what Warren said, too, about the O-line. But that's... Yeah.
Poor guy. I mean, that offensive line... Good tweet from Adam Schefter today, where they rank. Here you go. Bengals pass pro ranks since drafting Joe Burrow. Pass block win rate per ESPN since 2020. 29th, 30th, 27th, 32nd, and 28th. But again, Warren Sharp, you never really addressed it. And this is where you need to step in and say, Joe, I get it. We're going to give all this money to you. We're going to give all this money to Jamar Chase, Higgins. But what about offensive line, man?
Send them in tomorrow. Tip jars open. Do it on Tuesdays now during the football season. Sponsored by Mama's Pizza. Get your big long shot parlays in, your big cash outs as well. Send them in with your future parlays. FTM at VSiN.com.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
The Monday Night Football doubleheader begins in 30 minutes. The second game is out here in Las Vegas. The Raiders are a 3.5-point dog to the Chargers. Adam Hill covers the local team here for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, does a great job of it. He's at the stadium right now, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Adam, good to talk to you as always. Thanks for the time, pal. I want to begin here. Like, what do you know about Brock Bowers and his status for the game tonight? I'm asking because since we came on the air 2.5 hours ago, his receiving yardage prop has dropped from 62.5, now as low as 51.5, Adam.
Interesting. So I'll say this. I was literally just doing another show 10 minutes ago, just before I talked to you guys. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But I was saying, you know what? Everybody's saying he's playing. He wasn't so optimistic when I talked to him twice this week. It wasn't like he was saying, I'm playing. It was like, hey, we'll see, we'll see how it's going, all those things. So I was kind of getting the feeling he was trending toward not playing. And so I was kind of saying that, and I was doing a show, and I will say somebody in the Raiders front office walked by and just like tapped me, goes, he's playing. And I was like, okay. We'll see. But that, I don't know how much that means, right? I don't know that it means to get the full compliment. And also I think, the prop was where it was like, hey, he's playing or he's not. And, you get a refund if he doesn't play, that sort of thing. And now it's like, all right, he's playing, but he might not be a full compliment. So maybe you got to drop it a little bit in case he plays like a little bit and only as a decoy, doesn't play a full complement of plays. And we'll see how that works out. But look, he's definitely hurt. There's no question. I saw him walking around, very gingerly throughout the week. So if he goes, it's not going to be the full Brock Bowers, but even a 70% Brock Bowers is a pretty awesome player. So got to keep that in mind.
Well, what do you expect tonight from the offense? because I didn't expect them. I mean, I know they only allowed 17 a game last year, but every time the Chargers faced a good defense, they got lit up, or good offense rather, they got lit up. And then it was a decimated Kansas City outfit in Brazil. Do you think that the Raiders will throw it on them? And what do you think Chip Kelly has in mind tonight if he wants to get Genti going, et cetera?
Well, there's a lot of factors here, but I will say I feel like the Raiders' game plan is going to be to run as much as they can. They want to run the ball because they want Genti involved. That was their game plan from the beginning, and last week it didn't quite work out. But they want to run the ball. They want to establish the run for multiple reasons, but one of them is because they think that's where they're best, and the second is because they do want to keep that Chargers offense off the field. So I think they're going to run, but I also think they're going to get lit up a little bit defensively. So I think they're going to have to throw it eventually and try to keep up with them. I do think the over is the play here. The Raiders defense looked far better than anybody expected last week. But I'll also say this: they're probably going to be okay against the run at times. Their linebackers are much better against the run than they are against the pass. And the Patriots just couldn't pass the ball, even when there was wide open guys. Drake May was missing them, so they weren't exploited. I think there was open receivers. I think there'll be open receivers today, and I think Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Drake May. Hot take, I know. And I just really think the Chargers are an interesting team because Harbaugh and Greg Roman want to run the ball 100 times a game, but they've got Justin Herbert and this unbelievable receiving core. And I think they saw, I think their game plan was matchup based against the Chiefs, but I think they saw in that game like, oh, we can pass this ball pretty well. Maybe we should do this. So they might be a different kind of a team than they've been the last couple of years.
Oh, the players love Carroll by all reports and what I'm reading.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. How big was the whiteboard, breaking the whiteboard before the speech before the Patriot game?
Yeah, it sounds like it was Saturday night.
Okay.
At the hotel. So not like right before the game, like, hey, take the field. I'm going to tear this thing apart. But look, Pete Carroll, he's always looking for the edge. He's always looking for those sorts of things. And I think the thing about him is it's genuine, right? It's not like he's coming up with some fake, like, hey, let me show them that I'm excited. Let me do this. It's more like he really was excited. Like he hadn't coached in a year. He had been kind of cast off in Seattle. Like he wanted to get out there and play. And he's always about competition. And he wanted to go compete. And I think that was genuine. And I think that's part of why they like him. He's not trying to create things to get him fired up. Like he just is fired up. So that works. Now, how many times can you break a whiteboard? I don't know.
Every game.
It is new. It is new to all these guys now, right? So it might have got old in Seattle after 15 years, whatever. It's new to all these guys. So I think this will last for a while.
Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest Adam Hill, he covers the Raiders out here for the Las Vegas Review Journal. You made a comment there, like they want to run the ball. The Chargers do like 100 times a game, but they have Herbert and he's got a cannon for an arm and all these great weapons. So if they run the ball tonight, and I know that comments have been made this week that Najee Harris should probably be a little bit better, bigger part of the game plan. Well, he had one carry last week, right?
Why?
Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you, like his prop tonight is as low as 15.5, but Hampton, the first round pick, is like in the 50s. So how do you see that going?
I mean, I think it should be Hampton carrying the ball the vast majority of the time. So, look, I think he's going to be a really good player. I'm excited about what he can do. I also think the Raiders are quietly, like I said, better against the run now. I think the linebackers are really built to stop the run. They brought in, I don't know how much people have paid attention to the, transactions teams have made, whatever. It's early in the year, but the Raiders brought in like a very old linebacking core. And not necessarily old, like on their birth certificate, but like guys that have been around for a long time and guys that have had success in the past, but maybe haven't lately. Like a guy like Devin White, who was one of the best linebackers in the league a few years ago, really fell off because of injury and some personal stuff, and now playing well again. And you got a guy like Landon Roberts, who got hurt last week. He's back this week. Jermaine Pratt, who, has been a guy in Cincinnati that's been able to stuff the run. Like those guys can stop the run, but I think they're vulnerable against the pass. I think the corners are definitely vulnerable against the pass. So I think you pass against this team much more than you can run against them. I don't know how much success the Chargers are running. And I think if they pass early and they pass often and it's working, I don't think they'll go away from it. So I think Hampton gets a lot more carries. I think those props are where they are for a reason, but I don't know how much they're going to have to run the ball unless just try to put the game away at the end. And that might be Najee Harris time, right? Where you're ahead late, you go to the veteran, pound the ball a little bit, run the clock out. Like that's a different kind of running time than early in the game when you're trying to establish something.
Yeah, let me throw this guy at you. I mean, he looked great against the Chiefs. I'm kind of like over his drops. Like it doesn't bother me anymore. I think he's beyond that. But like Quentin Johnson tonight is 41.5. He could get that on the first couple of catches in the game.
Dude, go back and look what he did to the Raiders in the last game last year. Tore them apart. And I think that was a sign of things to come. Obviously looked like a different player in the first game. I think he's living up to where he was. It took him a couple of years, but he's there now. And obviously everybody knows what Ladd McConkey can do. And Keenan Allen, the ultimate security blanket. I was all over Keenan Allen as a fantasy guy this offseason. So I've been pretty excited about what he did in the first game. But yeah, Quentin Johnson could be the guy. And I was just asked on, like I said, a different show about, a guy to stand out tonight. I said Quentin Johnson. I think that is a good play. I think the Raiders are certainly vulnerable to that position. So that's a guy I'd look at for sure. Keenan Allen, I think, too, because the Raiders are going to have trouble covering slot guys for sure.
Yeah.
Using the slot at all. You can see that. But yeah, I think those are guys to watch. And then if you want a very, very, very deep one, depending on Brock Bowers' health and where he's at, like if Brock Bowers doesn't play and you can find it somewhere, like Ian Thomas is the guy that steps into Brock Bowers' role. Michael Mayer continues to play the role that he plays, and he might get more involved. He might get more targets, but Ian Thomas is the guy that steps into the Brock Bowers position and is like more the receiving tight end. So that if there's like a, half reception over under, I think I'll look at that.
Okay. I might look at like anytime touchdown for him as well. That would maybe pique my interest. So I'm glad you brought that up because we started Brock Bowers. I wanted to close with that as well. So he's one good candidate then, Ian Thomas. But if he's compromised or doesn't play, other guys that you might look at, would it be a Tucker type? Other than Myers, because he's already like juiced to the gills in this game. What about a Dante Thornton in this game?
Well, there's nothing they like more than throwing deep balls to Dante Thornton. They did it every day in practice. They did it every preseason game. They did it last week. It might be certainly a guy to look at. They're going to put the ball up to him deep at least twice in this game. That's a guarantee. So does he catch one of them? We'll see. Does he draw an interference? I don't know. That kind of sucks for a prop if you do that. But yeah, they're going to take shots at him. So if you can find that number and it's good, I think it's one to look at because you're at least going to get a shot at it. There's nothing more certain than the fact that they're going to throw the ball deep to him.
Wow, I'm seeing longest reception of the game, 14.5 over 20 cents.
Yeah, over.
Taking a shot.
All right.
Okay, I got to take my shot with that. Do you like anything in the early game coming up in about 20 minutes here, Buccaneers and the Texans?
I think I've been too focused on this, but I feel like they kind of talked this week about getting Nick Chubb more involved. So, maybe look at that.
Very good. You can follow Adam on X. He is at Adam Hill, LVRJ. Great spot as always, my man. Thank you.
Sounds good. Talk to you guys.
Thank you.
There you go. He's been at the stadium since 1 o'clock out here. 1. Now, there was something going on with Brady and Gronk, I guess, where they were throwing the ball. And
still, toy department. Beats working for a living.
For sure.
Yeah, damn right. Great doubleheader today. This is good.
Okay, I don't want to overreact.
Yeah.
But if you gave me an option, I would take a Monday doubleheader over Thursday Night Football.
No. I like the Thursday games.
What did you ever do with your life before they started doing Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I know.
Huh?
Been around for quite a while, though.
You probably never thought about it ever.
Yep. Uh-huh. I think there's 4 of these this year. 4 or 5 of them.
That's good. I'll take 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. All right, good stuff there from Adam Hill. I'm right now trying to get down on what he just talked about with Thornton on the longest reception. He said, I guarantee they're going to take 2 shots to him down the field. Okay. If he can get a 50-50 ball, then I like our chances potentially for longest reception of the game.
Yep.
We'll go over our in-pocket plays from the weekend and tell you what we've added for tonight's doubleheader coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right, mixed bag. 2-0 in college. NFL not that good, and the kicking props have been phenomenal. East Carolina by laying 7. That went to 10 and came back down. They beat Coastal by 30. Easy win. Georgia got hooked. Tough one.
Well,
Stockton was great in that game.
Oh, he was awesome. They should have lost the game, though.
No doubt.
Tennessee completely blew that.
Body clock for Oregon. Northwestern plus 28. Good. What a game this was Friday night. Yamamoto had a 1-hitter through 8. The 1 hit was a home run. They couldn't get to Verlander. and the Giants walked them off. And then Saturday was Kershaw against Webb. There were 100 runs scored in that one. DK Metcalf he had the touchdown, but couldn't go over his receiving yards in the loss. Dolphins money line, tough loser there. Henderson didn't do much for the Patriots as well. Neither did Butte. He had the touchdown, but it was only catch of the game. Fields did go over his rushing yards prop. That was a winner. I think he had like a 20, 30-yard rush in that game. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal in the Seattle-Pittsburgh game, winner. Both teams in the New York-Dallas game, winner. Longest field goal, Cowboys. Automatic play every single week. That's a winner as well. This did not win, though, in the Pittsburgh game because although he missed 2 chippies, Myers hit from 54, which made no sense. So longest made field goal Steelers was a loser.
Yeah, that's after he doinked one from 36, I believe.
34 and 30. Yeah. I thought he missed 2. Didn't he miss 2?
I'd have to go back and double check.
Yeah, but he made the long one. Tonight, you know where we're going. Bear over 1.5. Chop it. Boy, the listener who grabbed plus money at Caesars.
Oh, man, I'll explain that coming up in a minute.
Yep. Dicker over 1.5. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal in the late game. $1.30. Westgate, DK, wherever you may shop. Rams, Eagles under 44.5. Baylor money line against Arizona State, $1.25. Diamondbacks tonight. Huge game. They're 2 back. Schedule's brutal, but they're only 2 back now of the reeling Mets. And they play the Giants, who are a game and a half back.
Yeah.
I like Gallen.
They had, by the way, the Giants over the weekend for a moment there. They were actually in the lead for the wild card
spot. They were
in
the lead, yes.
Logan Webb.
Did you believe that?
Oh, and I could not.
No. He gave him 4 runs in the first. Gallen, $1.30 at home tonight against the Giants. They cannot find guys at the back end of that rotation to trust. And I think Arizona will beat them in a high-scoring game. And hello, don't forget tonight, the Yankees play the Twins. Since 2002, their record's 125 and 45.
Pretty good.
Not to mention all the times they knocked them out of the playoffs, and they are 16-2 against them in the playoffs in that span.
Are they going to get Joe Ryan in the series?
They beat them 2 out of 3 at home. The loss was against Joe Ryan. They outscored them 16-7. The Yankees have the easiest schedule remaining in baseball. Their opponents are a combined 66 games under 500. Rodon goes tonight. Judge has owned the Twins. Give me $1.85. The Yankees win the series.
Well, we are on the same page with a lot of this stuff. I'm looking at ways to fade Arizona State coming up.
I don't think they're good.
This weekend will have to be one of those, I think.
Yeah.
The Jets plus the 6.5. Phew, boy, stink bomb. Jets team total over 19.5.
What a bizarre result.
Horrible.
All these guys hurt for the Bills. Jets look great against. Well, we found out about the Steelers.
Yeah.
Just can't stop anything right now.
Was it Steelers' longest field goal of the game that I had? I had both teams to make over 33 in that one.
Yeah.
And Cowboys' longest field goal of the game, that was a winner. Pearsall went over 53.5. I explained earlier that I think I'm off Pearsall props moving forward because Jennings appears to be maybe the number 1 guy there for sure, and now Pearsall's props going to be too high. 2 unders in the NFL. 2 unders. Broncos-Colts. Game was dead in the first quarter. Rams-Titans exploded in the second half. No good. All right, new plays. Baker Mayfield goes over 9.5 yards a lot with his longest rush. It's 9 straight home games and 15 out of his last 19 games that he has played. And you figure here, with this Houston pass rush and those guys coming across the edge, it's kind of the same thing I thought about Daniels against Green Bay. Get a lot of pressure, guys coming around the edge. Well, he's going to sneak up into the pocket right away and potentially take off. He loves doing that anyway. He was great in the first game at taking off. I'm on him. Now, this is at thank you to Mitchell Lee on X. I could not find field goal props on Caesars or Will Hill. But if you go under the individual game, then click on team totals.
That's where they got it.
There's a tab for points, touchdowns, and total field goals.
That's where they put it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it either.
At $1.18, best price by a mile that you're going to find. He got plus 115. But I think minus 118 is still a good bet.
You said there's $1.60 out there?
Yeah.
Model.
Yep. Nick Chubb. This number keeps going the opposite way. The Buccaneers are excellent at stopping the opposing team's ground game. Look no further than last week. Bijan Robinson had 12 for 24. And then last night, he goes absolutely hog wild against a pretty good Minnesota defense. So I'm on Chubb under tonight with the yards. You can get better than I got. 54.5 was out there. Chargers, Raiders, both teams to make a 33-yard field goal tonight, minus 130. And look, we just had Adam Hill on. I'm glad I asked him about other guys if Brock Bowers doesn't go. And he said, I guarantee they're going to take a couple shots deep to Dante Thornton. They love doing it. They practice it every time. He covers the team. He sees it with his own eyes. So if they're going to throw it deep and take a couple of chances, like he had a great point. Maybe there's a PI. He doesn't come down to the catch. That sucks for the prop, but I'll take my chances here that he's going to go over 16.5 yards of the longest reception tonight in the game.
G-Bank's built with sports bettors in mind. Right now, you can earn a $50 cashback reward bonus once you're approved and your account's open with the G-Bank Visa Signature Card. Most credit cards, street sportsbooks, and gaming transactions as cash advances, even when it's your own money. G-Bank treats them as regular purchases. No cash advance fees. You save up to 3 to 5% on every deposit. You'll earn 1% cash back on all eligible sports books and gaming transactions. 2% cash back on everything else you buy. Apply now. VSiN.com/GBank. In these contests, I'd rather be lucky than good. I had Denver in the contest.
So did I.
So they're driving. Bo Nix gets picked. Then they're driving again. The delay a game. It's only 5 yards, no big deal. But then the face mask moves him back, and then Lutz misses from 40 indoors. And then you think you win the game. He misses from 60. And of all things, they called the stupid leverage, which that's an asinine call.
Totally
in that
agree.
Situation. So that's a loser. And then what if you had Arizona? I mean, it's over. They're blowing them out. 4th and 16, onside kick, stop playing. Bryce Young gets some things going. Ridiculous roughing the passer penalty. Torbert stinks. That crew is so bad. I mean, he called the penalty, I think, on 4 straight plays there.
Yeah. So that number moved from 6.5 up to 7.
Yeah.
Right. And think about this for a second. Again, the spot that you were in to have Arizona minus the points. David Purdom, ESPN. Since week 14 of 2022, teams that trailed by 24 points or more were 0 and 111 ATS. Typically, you hear about straight up to win the game. No, this is just to cover a game. They were 0 and 111. And the Panthers somehow come back. And look at the final stat line. And by the way, the fantasy day that Bryce Young had. Looks great, right? That guy was horrendous for the first 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
That was the old Bryce Young, the guy that we have watched now for basically 2 full years, minus the hot stretch down last year. But eventually he got cooking, and I hate it when teams do this, man. It's like the Ravens in week 1. You're up 40-25. Put the game away. Look, you're not going to, if you piss off the other team, who cares? Keep trying to score points. Don't go into the, prevent offense mode.
Yeah, the Lions did that. Kept throwing. Yeah.
God. Yeah, no kidding.
Settling for field goals. They also didn't realize this either. If the Cowboys game ends in a tie like it should, or they lose because Giants give Ferguson the 15-yard catch. Oh, by the way, Aubrey can make that, no problem. And then Arizona blows that, almost half the field would have been eliminated in Grandissimo.
Sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. And what was it? 8,600 in Circus Survivor?
Yeah.
Out of the remaining, 17,000, 18,000 plus going into the weekend? But we lost 1,000 in Survivor. So if you lose 1,000 a week, that'll do the trick. Just haven't had the massive chop so far.
Yeah, the Evan Abrams tweet about teams that are on crazy runs here if you're laying more than 4. Hasn't been upsets going back to late last year.
All right, stay tuned. Following us here, VSiN Primetime, Tim Murray, Will Hill. On today's show, DraftKings Johnny Avello going to join the program, Insights Behind the Counter, followed by Cashing Out with Dustin Sweetelson at 11 Eastern. And tomorrow you can wake up early with Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis on VSiN by the Books at 7 a.m. Eastern. Good luck tonight.